One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads. I'm feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I told them take their aim off me. Stop trying to get a name off me. If they would just let me be, I'm gonna be free. I told them take them chains off me and throw away the locks and keys. If they would just let me be, eventually I'm gonna be free.
Man, we got a lot going on right here, don't we?
Man, what's up?
Cheers to everybody. Much love and respect. I got my iced tea with me today. So we're drinking hard today. Oh, do you have an alcoholic beverage?
Oh, man.
Oh, I should have. I'm slacking, I guess. Dang it. We should have discussed this prior.
Little toddy for your body. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. So first and foremost, thank you guys to every one of you guys that are tuning in to the Diamond Effect, where every single week we are bringing some of the craziest human interest stories some of the craziest things that's happened around the globe. We really discuss a lot of the things that the mainstream media will not discuss. This is something that we love doing for you guys. Always remember this, though. While doing this, we get demonetized immediately, okay? It happens immediately. So if you guys can help support the show with the Diamond Effects, we got the Cash App over here. I'm going to pull it up for you guys. If you guys can help out the show, because it instantly gets demonetized because we're talking about things that the media doesn't want us to. So before we dive deep into all this, we got a little bit of a hint about what this is about. Archbishop, how was your week?
Man, it was cool for the most part. Between work and then working on this show here and trying to get stuff together with this one, and then I'm working on the show for next week.
Show him the note. Literally, show the notepad. Like this is insane. This man goes above and beyond to get the most information for you guys on every single show. Look at this.
For next week.
That's for next week's show. Like, that's how crazy this man is. Like, he really goes in depth to find the truth and dig and dig and dig until we find it. So you had a good week at work, sounds like. And then, of course, you prepared a lot of videos on a lot of things for tonight's video as well. And we have a special guest as well today, too.
Well, so, some people may know him because he was in the show that we did previously.
That's right.
But his name is Bobby Worthy, and he's with the Justice League United National Judge Advocate General. But they right now they've issued a public service announcement because they're fighting for the rights of CSX workers, the railroad, and there's some lawsuits involved. So it's a lot of stuff dealing with wrongful terminations and all kind of stuff. I mean, it kind of goes.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go pretty deep into this. But let me give you a little background history on him, though. So we got Bobby Worthy, who's the National Judge Advocate General for the Justice League United, which is a human rights organization. He's a former special assistant to the former chairman of the National Black Panther Party for self-defense and National Minister of Law and Justice for the National Black Panther Party for self-defense. So without further ado, let's welcome my man, Bobby Worthy, to the show. What's up, my bro?
What's up, Bobby Worthy? Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. We know from our last discussion how busy you are. You're always rolling. That's why, I mean, look, you're in your car right now.
Yeah. Part of the bank. I might not be right at the bank, right? The police roll up on me at the bank.
Oh, man. That's no bueno, man.
Man. So Bobby, I was going through this ever since you started sending me information about it, and I know that you're gonna get into some of the other lawsuits and stuff that CSX was going through. And so let's say this before we get started, that a lot of stuff that we're gonna say alleged, for the simple fact that we're not there and we don't know.
That's right.
So on me and Mike's Ball behalf, we're gonna say allegedly this and allegedly that, but you was there, so you can speak freely.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So because
we don't want anyone thinking that as if we were on ground floor there, you know.
Yeah, I don't got nothing for you to take. You come on over here, look in the living room, pick you out something nice, take with you. But other than that, you ain't getting nothing. You know?
Right. That's right.
But Bobby, I know you've been going live quite a bit on your Facebook, talking about the different stuff that's going on here. So I'm gonna turn it over to you right quick and just kind of give everybody an overview as to exactly what's going on here.
All righty. Well, the thing about CSX ONE CSX is what they call it. They have the public assumption that they are about safety. and I assure you that is not the case. Conductors when conductors are in their first phase training is Atlanta, 5 weeks the training center in Atlanta, and then after you come back to your regular assignment where you're gonna be Jacksonville, whatever you're gonna be there all over the country, you're in second phase and you assigned a mentor that helps you with your day-to-day process until you mark up. What I found out with CSX is, me being the person I'm being and trying to keep this job, I had to remain quiet. I watched MTO's management, basically. I watched them violate every rules in this book. This is the employee operating manual by CSX. Every employee that CSX has, from trains to from transportation to in-house to office or whatever, this is the manual that everyone must go by. But the problem with CSX is they don't have accountability for managers messing up. I watched one of the managers, his name Josh, I forget his last name, but Josh, I watched him one time reach, and they put little switches on the rails to test you to see if you look in between the tracks before you switch, or make sure there's no debris. And it fell down in, he reached his hand down into the track, and that's a no-no. Right. That's a serious safety violation, because that switch is operated by springs. If it, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna lose your hand. So no one is supposed to use a stick or anything, but he told me the rules don't apply to him. I had another one, David Rose, which is all these guys I'm talking about is on the flyer and all that stuff that I'm going after. I had him almost hit me, speeding, excessive speeding in the yard, almost hit me when I was coming off the train, coming across the tracks back into the yard, back to the office, and he almost hit me, didn't stop one time, kept going. No accounting. CSX's rule book clearly says no speed limit. I watched MTOs, I watched the managers walk across tracks. I watched them use profanity. We're not supposed to be using profanity, strong profanity toward each other, and they do it all the time. But as soon as you or anybody else do it, then you're held accountable. And to get to the long story short, and make a long, get into detail, but CSX management, rogue management, has willfully and intentionally lied. They've falsified documents. They put write-ups. See, when you get a wrote-up with CSX, you're supposed to be consulted about your write-up and you sign it. But nobody is signing them. They're putting write-ups in your file just because one of the managers don't like you for some other reason, so they'll target you. Just like me. I kept my mouth shut because I knew if I run it, what they was going to do. But somehow this David Rose, the MTO, somehow just stopped speaking to me for some reason. He's supposed to be the man I go to when I have issues. And all of a sudden they called me in the office and basically lied. He said, hey, the vice president said that that David Rose spoke to you about several unsafe moves that you've done and weeks ago, and you just did that again. So I told him, I said, well, tell you what, David Rose lying. I never spoke to him at all. Never spoke to him one word. Matter of fact, he did everything in his power to avoid me. So that's when I understood, when I was in that office, when I said, hey, when I learned in the military, one of the main things I learned in the military is when you put two assholes together, you'll know what asshole is lying. I mean, really, because they never called him in and he was there. So if he said he talked to me, why he wasn't in there? So when I said David Rose was a liar, the other one, I forget his name, but he's over training. Aaron, his name Aaron. Aaron jumped up like a bat out of hell. We're just gonna reject your application. So okay, that's fine. Reject it. That's on you. But one thing I won't tolerate is a liar, especially when you lie on me. Because if you lie, you cheat. And CSX has proven to be that that what the opposite of the public thinks. If you can lie on a person, some of these guys, man, give their livelihood up to CSX.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They quit their jobs. They've been 15, 20 years to go to CSX, to only be targeted by management, harassed by management, and then eventually fired by management. See, when they get these, what they do is they got what they call the extra board. So when they get the extra board full up, that's when they start looking at people they're going to just fire. And that shouldn't be the way. And I hate to say it, the CEO, he knows this because I sent him a letter, certified mail by certified court processor. He got it. And then in return, their lawyer, yeah, I said it, lawyer, because that's what they all do, lie. He sent me a cease and desist letter. So I sent him a video and said, to your cease and desist letter, you got the wrong one. Coward was never in my blood. Y'all drew first blood, not me. When I walked out of that office, I told them, I'm going to show y'all what it's like to fuck with the devil underneath the pale moonlight.
Man, there was something that I read on there where a lot of I guess there was a bill that was passed through like right before the strike last year, that Congress ended up having to get involved with it because of they couldn't figure it out on their own. So Congress jumped in because they said under no certain circumstances is there going to be a strike, because if you strike in the railroad, then you're gonna mess up everything.
Well, yeah, it's the bloodline of like the entire United States. Yeah.
Right. So they ended up having to jump in and do something with that. But a lot of the once that bill was passed, though, it kind of really messed people up too because of the way they had that situated. So like if you was on the train and you got off and you knew that you had like that 12-hour window or whatever, but if somebody else called off or two people called off or whatever, then you turn around, you just basically just go home, turn around and come right back that you was doing that. And a lot of people was talking about that this was one of the reasons why a lot of the accidents and stuff was happening, because people were just, number one, they were tired because for working all these
overworked
hours, and a lot of alleged safety issues was going unchecked, and when it was called out to them, was told to overlook them. So is that stuff that you had seen while you was there?
Oh yeah, definitely experienced the like I was saying with the managers. This book everybody go by. Managers violating every rule that they try to make enforce you to apply. And just like the it's called the federal where Congress came in. See, and I explained this to them. This was before I would have read. When that was coming, I was going in. I was in my first phase of training. That law, it states that it gives Congress the power to regulate. Regulate does not mean dictate. You have no authority under a contract to force labor on anyone.
Correct.
So I hate to say, in this part, I hate to say it, the union was weak as hell to fall for that by Congress, because Congress have no power, according to the Constitution, to regulate labor on someone. You can't sign a contract to violate the law. If that's the case, then a contract for murder would be legal.
Mm-hmm. You know,
so
I got a little small video dealing with that contract thing. So let me hit that right quick and just kind of, actually, you know what? I have two. I'm gonna play one and then I'm gonna play the other one, and then I'm gonna let you come in and give your feedback on that.
Railroad's been pushing for this idea of self-protecting pools for years. So if you're on a regular run and there's 10 trains on the lineup and you are the sixth one on the lineup, then whenever the sixth train goes out, you're going to be the one on it. Let's say the first and second people take a sick day ahead of you. It doesn't affect you because someone off the extra board covers your spot. So you stay the same relative to them. So if you go to bed at 8 o'clock at night expecting to go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning, you shouldn't in theory get a surprise wise call at 11 p.m. right as your eyes are closing that you need to go to work. But the railroads want to cut staff even more and get rid of our extra boards. So if those two guys lay off sick ahead of you, well, I guess you're going to work right as you were going to sleep. They want that. And they've been wanting it for years. Well, they used this contract as an opportunity to slide that in there. Wow. And they basically gave the railroad a blank check that, well, we're going to open the door for self-protecting pools now.
Well, folks, I promised that I was going to do a thing, and now I regret promising to do the thing. So welcome to my new series, What Else Was in the Bill? And it only works if you say it in that voice. So in this inaugural episode of What Else Was in the Bill? I'm going to show you House Joint Resolution 100, which deals with the potential railway workers' strike. And I'm going to do my best to explain what the bill itself does. Well, welcome to House Joint Resolution 100, which, as you can see, is to provide a resolution between the National Carriers Conference Committee, otherwise known as the Railroads, and the National Railway Labor Conference, which is a collective of rail worker unions. These opening paragraphs of the resolution just really stress how important it is that the rail workers not go on strike. It could be damaging to the economy, to our national defense, and just general services. And you could pause to read. This is what I call the whereas section, where basically it's just kind of like a how we got here. In July, President Biden did an executive order to investigate what was happening between the rail workers union and the railroads. In August, they made their recommendations based on what they found through the investigation. Down here, it says that there's still a bunch of stuff that's unresolved that they're going to continue ironing out, but we really need there to not be a strike. And over here, it says that we've tried to resolve this through collective bargaining, which is what unions are for. I.e., Congress doesn't want to have to intervene, but we have to because there can't be a strike. And also, Congress has the authority to step in and act this way because it relates to interstate commerce. So pause if you want to read all that. And now here's the meat and potatoes of the bill. This part up here is saying that we're going to stay consistent with the laws agreed upon in the Railway Labor Act, and we're going to get these two parties to agree to something so that we don't have a strike. And that section down there is just some legal jargon so that in the rest of the bill, when they use the term covered parties, we know who they're talking about. And then this part essentially says, well, if they agree to a different or better deal, then we're not going to stop them from doing that. And that's it. That's the whole bill. It's basically just Congress acting as the parent to the two squabbling siblings and saying, you're going to share your toys. And I'm about out of time, so we're going to talk about the stuff that's not in the actual bill that relates to this in a part 2. But before we do that, this is who voted for and against it in the House and the Senate. And it passed both.
Wow. All right.
Now you see that scale there, right? About who voted for it and who voted against it, right?
Yeah.
And it was pretty even there on both.
Yeah, I see.
On both ends.
But whenever shit hit the fan, though, you see they do this.
They just easy.
Him. You know how that go. Okay. So Bobby, based on both of them right there, now let's talk about this self-protecting pool, because that seemed like right there, that's just a load of crap right there. Now I done worked. Now I done gave my shift. I done my shift. I'm tired. I done got on. I got them taking me to my hotel or whatever for me to go to sleep or whatever. And then people don't want to go to work. I automatically get called back in there. Now, is that now they work 12-hour shifts? Am I correct?
Yes, that's a direct violation.
So how are they able to let them go? Like you work a 12-hour shift and then bam, jump right back into another one, and then they still expect you to be for your original shift that you.
Yeah, so now that's 3 shifts. People don't even think about it, but it's now you were already there, and then you still got to cover your shift. So you got 3 shifts running.
Yeah, a lot of the guys, did like it, kind of did, or some didn't, some did because of the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's good money. But if you're not safe driving, you know, just for example, the chairman of the local union in Jacksonville, right? But this same MTO that I'm talking about and this management I'm talking about fired him. He's fired right now, 22 years, and he the chairman of the union. And he's been on the railroad 22 years.
Wow. So,
I talked to him.
that just shows.
He's probably watching this show, I'm sure. But they fired him because he was on his break, off duty, off railroad property, on his own phone, because he cussed the manager out for calling him. So they fired him. CSX think they have authority over you 24/7. You don't. You only have authority on me when I'm on your property, I'm on facilities that you are over, and that's it. You don't have authority at my house.
Right.
You don't have authority on my phone. So the rules only apply when they want them to apply for somebody else, but it doesn't apply to them. That's that clique amongst the slick. And I'm here to tell you, I'm about to tear it up. It's time. You know what the railroad guys tell me? All of them I talk to, they call me, and the first thing they say, man, you are what we've been wanting to say for decades now. For over 20 years, these people have been wanting to say things, but they scared of their job. They can't speak out because they're going to get targeted and fired because there's no accountability for management. See, the union is great from within. That's why I started a union, outside union, because the union they can negotiate contracts from within, but they have no power for accountability. When managements falsify documents, when they lie. So I tell people all the time, if you tell somebody something that's not the truth, what are you?
Liar.
If you falsify documents on somebody, what are you?
Liar.
You know what I'm saying? So this is the things that the union can negotiate great from within. But to have accountability, like I've always said, if there's no accountability for management, then there will never be an effective change. It's
Right.
going to keep repeating. Look, you ask the average railroad worker now that's there, and they'll tell you they hate their managers. They have created a hostile environment where some of them have been there. They've been there so long. They've been 20 years, 15 years they invested. They don't want to lose all that. And if they speak out, they will lose that. And the CEO and president for CSX doesn't care. He is part of the slick. He's part of the slick amongst the clique. And I'm about to go in his ass. You can believe that because you are responsible. You can't say you don't know. I wrote you a letter. I sent a certified court processor instead of him responding and find out why is this guy going off like this for a man telling the truth. That's what the leadership is. Leadership reflects leadership. So if the head man of CSX is rogue management, then those behind him will be followed in his footsteps because we repeat the habits of those leaders that's over us. And this is why CSX is a great company if it's done like it's supposed to be. But they have let the slick among the clique get in there and tear up everything they're doing. Just like, I don't know if y'all saw the video. If you're about safety, you walk down a railroad, a CSX, any track, just walk down that railroad for a mile or so. Conductors, we have to walk these in pitch black dark at night with debris, hoses, metals, and wood. They all just throw them down beside the tracks. Sometimes we can't see with our lanterns, and guys hurting their ankles and all that. I hurt my ankle one time, and as sprained, I said, nah, man, ain't gonna do it. He said, man, that was your retirement right there. That's what the guy told me. So if you're about safety, walk down the track. Then when you mess up, clean it up. You're not about safety. They are about themselves. They are self-centered. They are liars. They're lawyers, and all of them are slick amongst the clique, and it's time for an effective change. And I'm not going to stop. And if something happened to me happening to me in between it, and if I leave this world, then I'm like this. If there's such thing as reincarnation, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to tear a hole in your world.
Good. Put them on blast.
I can't stand a person to lie on me. You know what I'm saying? And knowing you willfully and intentionally lied. And the CEO of CSX didn't even think to address it. So he'll address one thing he will address when I get that paperwork filed in the federal court and his ass come to court as a damn defendant.
You know, I was reading up on something. I'm getting ready to read this out to you. This is from a previous lawsuit in U.S. District Court in Huntington, West Virginia. Matter of fact, you got let's see, who on here? Black Dragons. He's still on here. Black Dragon, Midnight Ghost Rider from Charleston. You know, that's right down your way. But
hey, Bishop, I meant to tell you, cut y'all real quick. The last two videos, I couldn't see them, but I saw those videos before. It just showed a still picture. It wasn't playing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So on their lawsuit, it was 46 former railroad workers that were sued for wrongful termination, and they said for what had happened was 46 employees. There was a lot of people who claimed that they were wrongfully let go. According to court documents, former employees were all fired, and they alleged CSX refused to allow them to take legitimate medical leaves of absence, accused them of insurance fraud, fired them for using health insurance, and violated their rights by exposing their medical records. On top of that,
HIPAA law.
Accused CSX of violating the Employee Retirement Income Security Act and the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, the West Virginia Human Relations Act, and the Family and Medical Leave Act. So what a lot of this was talking about is that, you know, they have all this stuff, family medical leave, the retirement, which I know I've heard on another one that I had looked at, that allegedly a couple of people were fired prior to their retirement to keep them from getting retirement pay.
Mm-hmm.
Right before then.
Right before it's like that forced retirement where you don't even get your full benefits.
Exactly. So you do all these years, and you done worked all these crazy hours and everything else. You put blood, sweat, and tears for however many years it takes before you can retire from the railroad. And then once you get almost to that hump, then they find a reason to fire you to keep having to pay you. So have you seen stuff like this?
Oh, yeah. Like I just said, the chairman of the union, right? He's the chairman of the union. And they fired him while he was at home on his break. You know, not to mention they violated the law by interrupting his break. 12 hours uninterrupted rest. If you violate that within them hours, then you are in violation of federal law. That's why I said there's no accountability. Management can do what and whenever they want, and they know this. And there's no accountability whatsoever. And like I said, man, the union, the only can do, to me, my opinion, a company that has a union should never, because see, the union work for them too. So you need to have an outside union that has no employees for CSX. Then you have some effective change.
Mm-hmm. I see another one here from this one here was in San Francisco, and it was 61 workers who joined this lawsuit here, basically for the same thing, wrongful termination. And it also says that the employees further claim that CSX fired them for misusing health insurance and exposing their medical records in an attempt to prove it, despite the fact that these employees sought medical attention at different facilities and doctors. Many faced disciplinary actions and were ultimately let go. So they were basically illegally.
Yep.
You know, So they going through all this. So why have benefits? Seem like on here, why have benefits and then they're gonna turn around and fire you for using them?
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I said, when they target you for whatever reason, that's why none of the guys will speak out. Now they'll talk trash out in the fields and you know what I'm saying like, about the management, but they won't speak out against if they see management doing wrong. I'm the only one that have spoke out against management, and everybody acknowledge that. You're the only one that have spoken out the things that's really going on in CSX that nobody want to know, that nobody really knows because they put the persona out there that they are one CSX, and that's a lie. You're not. You're not family. You have created a hostile work environment because just let's say if this guy ain't really mentally deaf, he got a train. Just think if he just snapped and just took off with that train. You know how many deaths he can cause? Because these people just they just don't get it that they created a hostile work environment, and this is why we're marching on CSX to make this change. That we're gonna let them know that we're serious. Now this is what they told me. One of the guys called me and told me, said, "Man, they was talking about you today." In the yard. I said, well, they've been talking about me in all the yards, Jacksonville, North Carolina, South Carolina. So it's getting out there. But they talked about Jesus, but all of them still pray to him. So they can, you know what? But anyway, you know, he said that they said they was going to stop the march and they was going to arrest us all. So my thing is to you. So I sent them a message on Facebook. Please be advised. The law is clear. The law says I have a right to resist any false arrest with just as much violence as you have to make it deadly. If necessary, I can take the police life. Now, I don't recommend that, but if you got a problem with that, then check it out with the U.S. Supreme Court because they the one ruled it.
You know, so why are they going? So why would they be in such an uproar about you doing this march? Because I want you to talk about this march here in just a second. Yeah. Now, because if they feel that what they're doing is right and what you're doing, you know, because you know you're gonna have, you know, you always have two different people. You got one side that agrees with everything that you're saying, but like you said, they won't come out with fear of their job or they trying to get back, you know, which is crazy because if they already done got you one time, why would you even try to go back? But you know, I understand money's money and they're gonna go back and do that. But then you have this side over here, the ones who don't care about that money, that don't mind speaking out for what's wrong because, you know, you've had to experience that, you know. But if it wasn't true, you wouldn't be making this big uproar about it. You wouldn't be sending you cease and desist letters if it wasn't true.
Right.
You wouldn't
that
be
part.
with a police gonna come and arrest you if you do a march if it wasn't true.
Right.
In which you do have the right to a fair assembly, just like anybody else.
Yeah.
So, it's weird because it's kind of like they doubling down here, and by them doubling down here, it puts it out, you know, what you really are. Like you trying to cover this up, but the way you handling it is actually speaking the truth.
Yes.
Like your ass is guilty. You know what I mean? So with the march that you're talking about doing, let everybody know, one, what the march is about, where it's located, and the reason why you're doing this march. Because maybe some of these ones are sitting here watching right now can be there for it. So just let them know exactly what this thing is about.
Well, it's a march. I'm calling for a 10,000 man march on CSX. It's April the 4th. Going to be downtown Jacksonville at CSX corporate office. The big, you can't miss it. It's big on Waters Avenue, 500 Waters Avenue, on Bigger Bill on the April at 1 o'clock. And the reason I'm doing for the march is for the past, the present, and future employees of CSX that have suffered, like other conductors have suffered, wrongful termination. See, what they do is with this, see, when they get us in second phase, we got a contract. Second phase, you're under contract, we get paid $1,400 and something a week. You know what I'm saying? In second phase. So if you get terminated in that second phase, what CSX like to do is don't pay you all your money. But that's not what the contract says. The contract says 14, no matter if I work 1 day or 2 days. Now, what my union did, and I'll give it up to them, they got me my money. Now, how many conductors have fired and didn't get their money? Now, this is the things that I've been stressing to all the unions that I'm going to, talking to. Y'all got to find these conductors who they done took 1,400 from and give them 700 and 600 and stuff like that there. And y'all need to get these people their money like y'all did mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
CSX is not only, they're stealing from the employees and violating their own contracts. So you know what I'm saying? So this is why, and listen, it gets crazy and crazy every day. What CSX thought they was going to do? I guess they thought I had sugar in my blood or something. They're gonna send me a cease and desist letter from their lawyer and thought I was gonna run. They're scared. Like I told them, my blood pumps never pumped the Kool-Aid. Never. My heart don't pump Kool-Aid and it don't flow sugar. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nothing ever in me by the coward. Believe that. Nothing. You know, so I'm coming and I'm not gonna stop till I get some changes. If I have to replace the CEO, if you're not an effective leader and you allowing this to go, then it's time for the CSX board of directors to get together, because that's who I'm going to next. The board of directors say, hey, we're replacing you. You're not the one we need. If you are not about keeping your employees happy, not happy with just money, because the guy's happy with the checks. They're just not happy with the bullshit they got to put up with them checks.
Right.
But
They
like
got
I
to
said,
do a
they
lot to
grandfathered
get
in.
those.
Yeah, they grandfathered in, and they're scared. They're making examples. Hell, like I said, they fired the chairman of the union. He's been there 22 years, and I'm sure he on here listening. They fired him 22 years. And then he's told me the other day he's been fired 5 times. This is the 5th time he's been fired and back at work.
I've heard those horror stories. Yep. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I guess
It's crazy, man.
He ain't learned the other 4 times.
Huh?
He didn't learn the other 4 times?
Yeah, I know, right?
Why did he go back 4 times?
But see these guys are, yeah, these guys are invested. They don't want to lose that money. You know, 20 years and lose and get nothing, man. That's a big star to overstar. And then some people love the railroad. I talked to some of them that say, hey man, the railroad's been good to me and my family. It took care of my good money. You were just one of the ones that was not lucky to meet the slick amongst the clique. That's all that was. That's all you was. You was just lucky. Now, let me tell you, when I got fired, it was a weight lifted off my shoulder. Let me tell you why. Because I'm the kind of guy that like to speak out and like to hold people accountable for their action. I got tired of seeing all the violations that the manager's doing, and then they come and fussing at us. They got drones always up in the sky, playing with drones, watching us. I ain't gonna say that on the air, but but they got these drones up in the air, watching every move you do. You always working under pressure. Don't they understand that can really hurt you as well? Especially you messing with all this metal. Really? And them trains don't stop like no cars. And see, and this was another thing what they told me about when they was going through talking about striking. First of all, CSX is not. CSX is not the #1 transportation in this country. It is the #1 in bulk in this country. But the #1, CSX strike right now, it would slow the economy down, but it won't stop it. The only thing that can stop the economy in this one country is truck drivers. If them trucks shut down, because it don't matter if you take it door to door, you take it by train or ship, it must be put on a truck and took door to door. So the only one in this country that can affect a massive change is truckers. If they shut it down, the world is shut down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, now you know back a while ago when them truckers was talking about striking. This is right during COVID when they was talking about it. And then you had just a couple weeks ago where you had over 70,000 truckers that was in Texas to block off the border. You know, so you know that put a hurting on some stuff because you know everybody in Texas, you got 70,000 truckers in Texas. There's a whole lot of stuff that didn't get done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you notice, a lot of things shot up last week. You know, gas and other, some other stuff too just shot up.
Yep.
But I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole there. I'm gonna keep this. Sometimes that happens, man. I get to talking about different stuff and it relates to something else.
Yeah. But now you were talking actually, Bobby, about, I've got a question. You were talking about safety protocols and stuff like that. And we have this video here that we want to ask you what you think about it and what's going on here. Because for us, we're a little confused. I mean, we're from the outside, right? So we don't know what's right or wrong. And to me, this looks a little wild. So you let me know if this is a little wild. Now that thing was bussing. That thing was moving.
Well, listen, I can see say CSX training, but the video was not playing. So all I saw was a pole.
They're moving. How would you describe it to him, Archbishop?
Going about 100 miles an hour down that track. And we trying to figure out like we know now. Because I know a lot of people that work on the railroad that there's actual speed limits on the tracks.
Yeah, there are actual speed restrictions on every track. Yeah.
Now
and they're pretty good at regulating their speeds. So you got a conductor. This is what it is. You got a conductor, and then you got the engineer driving the train. The conductor can say to the engineer to say, "Hey, man, you're going 5 miles over, man. I think you need to back it off some." So the engineer back it off. Now, the power is if the engineer say, "Well, we're going 10 miles over the speed limit," and the engineer refuse to ignore you, what you said, then you have an emergency brake in there. You just hit the brake and let safety deal with his ass.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they're both going, you know what, let's just haul this thing. Let's just go as fast as we possibly can. And it almost seemed like that. Both of them were just like, hey, just let it go, Yeah.
Well, you got some tracks you can go 75, but I very rarely see like 55. Depends on where you're going. Like I was inside the industry, so we don't get that fast. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't over the road traveling like that. But yeah, I see some of them be rolling pretty fast, but they pretty much regulate that speed, man. It's got sensors. You got signals. You got everything that warn you to keep from getting in some kind of serious accident or run into another train, even Amtrak, because Amtrak's Normally they'll pull off to the side tracks, let Amtrak go by. So there's always one thing I can say about that. If the engineer and conductor is doing what they're supposed to do, then that won't happen. It'll be very seldom that happen because they got cameras inside the engines as well, watching you. For those who like to been fired for using the phone, you're not supposed to be sneaking and using the phone. You're not supposed to do nothing that's not CSX related while you on that train.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Now looking at that video there, now I could see if you was like in an open section, so like you going through the plains and it's just wide open and you just busted it. But look like that one there, I mean, from where that guy was filming at, he was on the road and he wasn't that far from that track.
Yeah, send me that link when you get a chance. I like to,
Yeah, that was pretty it seemed like where people just live, it was pretty residential.
And like I said, I grew up in the coal fields of West Virginia. So trains ran by the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I done seen some trains come through there smoking, but I ain't never seen one going that fast. That damn train
normally the freight trains don't go that fast.
He was an Amtrak. That damn train was moving.
Yep.
That's a lot of metal to stop too.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I said behind the scenes. Yep.
That's the reason why I'm saying that.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
The train was going. There is no way if he had to stop. There is no way. It probably took him 3 miles to stop. It probably took him at least 4 miles to stop. He was booking.
Yeah, see, that's like the managers, right? You might be sitting outside somewhere waiting to come in the yard or something. You might sit out there a couple of hours, right? You might sit on the track 3 or 4 hours. Next thing you know, here come a bunch of managers. They done had the drones up in there and they jumping on the train to telling you what you did wrong and all that there. You know what I'm saying? For folks, really, I mean, and that's okay. That part is okay. But my main thing is you doing the same thing, but then come and want to punish everybody else for it.
Right.
Or talk to somebody else for it. And the main thing about me is when you're in second phase training, you're supposed to be told, okay, hey, you perform an unsafe act. I need you to get it together. Don't do this again, right? So this is what they did with the MTO that did me, David Rose. He told them that he talked to me several times about an unsafe move I just did. And but the thing about it is, he never talked to me. He lied. But I can assure you, once I get my records, there was no files. They wouldn't give me none of my files or none of that. They wouldn't give me none of that. So I assure you right now, I guarantee you, once we get the lawyers involved and getting all the paperwork and all that, I guarantee they didn't put lies in my files.
Absolutely. And it has to show that you signed your side as well. It should, anyways. It's supposed to. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And there's one conductor called me. He said the same train master, MTO, so master train operation, I would stand for. I ain't too cool with that master mess. But anyway, but he put write-ups in this guy's file, and the guy confronted him with this about how write-ups supposed to be done. He thought, don't worry about me. I don't know how I got it. I'll take care of it. And next thing you know, he being fired for write-ups that he never knew nothing about.
Here go. Here's a question here, Bobby. I want you to let me see where it go with that. It says, at certain speeds, does a train get faster than the arms that block crossings? Does that make sense? Hold on. At certain speeds,
no, because those crossbars are triggered by electronics unless it ain't working. You know what I'm saying? It's considered by when they hit a certain place. That's when it, you know what I'm saying? It goes down, the arms. But sometimes they broke. They don't work right. Then some people run through them arms. I don't. Some people just. I seen it personally. A guy got mad. He didn't want to wait. He just ran through it. Broke the arm.
Wow.
So
yeah, I seen a couple videos where the crossing arms was just down, and they looking both ways, and ain't nothing there.
Nothing coming. It's sometimes it malfunction. So they got crews that specialize in that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They got crews that go over and they fix those maintenance part of people. They fix them. They got the track people that do the maintenance on the tracks, and they got those I, I forgot what they call them, but they go out and that's what they do. They fix make sure all the arms and the gates are coming down. What they call them gates.
Mm-hmm. Somebody did a video. It was basically, it's kind of comedic, but they was talking about the different positions and how they act more on a funny scale as to how they act. I'm gonna play it because I want this, because I just, being the fact that I don't know nothing about the railroad for real, I want you to see, like, are they dead on about what they talking about, even though it's kind of comedic about it, but are they dead on about it? Hold on.
All right.
I've been jacking off all day. I love it.
Let's do all the things that you want to do.
Where are you, son of a bitch?
What the fuck happened?
Shit. Got your ass.
Please. Anything but California.
Yeah. That show's bright.
Anyone can see you coming.
That Eastbound 12 is crawling. Who's the incompetent bastard on her?
Live for 1995, you can rent this motherfucker!
Oh, thank God.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Oh my gosh, that was golden. And I'm not a part of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
True.
Well, it's not playing. I try to open it up and play. It won't play for me. It's not. It's just a steady picture.
Oh my God.
He's still able to hear it though. So it showed like each different job.
I couldn't hear it neither.
Oh, you couldn't hear it neither? Oh, okay.
No, I couldn't hear nothing.
Well, it showed like the different positions, like the engineer, the
conductor, track inspector. They showed all these different things.
And just basically,
oh wow,
that they do for real, but more on the comedic side of it. I didn't
Yeah. No, everyone's sitting here in the chat laughing their ass off. So.
Yeah, but further, man, the thing about the railroad, man, is they got some great guys that work there. They got some guys that's serious about the job and doing the job, man. They got a whole lot of people like that. But the only problem is, man, I'm literally talking to hundreds and hundreds of them. The only problem is management.
Yep.
That's bad. That's like when I'm in the military, if I didn't trust one of my NCOs or one of the officers that's over me, and I had to go to battle with him, oh, he'll be the first one to catch a bullet. Believe that. So, but if there's no, like I said, man, it goes all the, what I've always said, accountability, man. The management won't change until they come up with accountability. So, see, they can write you out, but there's nothing in here that mentioned writing up a manager. Nothing.
So how are you going to be able to hold these people accountable at the end of the day?
The end of the day is, I filed the EEOC complaint. I filed a complaint with the Federal Railroad Administration, and I showed the EEOC. So when those complaints are done, then I'll decide whether if they give me a right to sue letter, or I'll go ahead and file it myself and forget about the right to sue letter. But ultimately, I am going to sue CSX in federal court.
And you're gonna hold them accountable personally.
We are going to battle. So they little lawyer that likes to send out these little paper plane letters and stuff to me. He said in his letter, and I think I sent you them letters too, Bishop, but he said in his letter that his clients are prepared to take legal action. I said, wow, that's one thing we agree on. Y'all are prepared to take legal action. I'm preparing to take legal action. Beat me to the courthouse.
But that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about, you know what I mean? Obviously, there must be a lot of truth in what you're saying, because why are they doubling down like they're doubling down? If you
Right. They're acting guilty already just off of the way that they're moving.
Right. So like if you were just a saying today, like, oh, I ain't worried about him, just let him buzz around a little bit and then he'll go on about his business, as opposed to what they're doing now, kind of explains everything that what you're saying. There's a lot of truth in what you're saying, to the point that it done rang the ears of the higher ups, and now they trying to figure out a way to get you to shut up, you know.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah, I shut up, but I run my mouth again. But like I said, man, and that's the problem with this. If I was a leader of a major corporation like that, and I'm watching all this stuff play out from one person, I would say, hey, let's find out what's going on. We need to go and look. Show up at the terminals or at the yards and say, hey, don't prepare. See, this is what killed me about leaders. Y'all prepare. Oh, he coming in town today and all that. No, show up. Surprise everybody so you can find out what's really going on. Open up them computers. Let me see what's going on. That's a real leader. And this guy, I forget his name, but he used to work for Ford. He was a CEO or something for Ford Motor Carrier. So my suggestion to him is take his ass back to the car industry. This is the transportation train industry. It's not the same.
Right. Yeah, DOT is way different. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. The thing is that you do, and like I said, man, getting fired was the best thing that happened to me, man. Weight was lifted off my shoulder. I was happy.
When did that happen to you, Bobby?
Huh?
When did that happen to you? When did you get let go?
December the 18th.
December 18th. Okay, so fairly recent.
Yeah. December the 18th. I had a safety class that day. They called me out, and I knew something was up because I saw the one I'm talking about, the MTO, David Rose. I saw him, and he saw me. He did a 360. I walked in the terminal that morning. I walked in the yard, and he did a 360. Like, I said, man, what is wrong with this damn dude? I'm like, what is wrong with this dude? That when I knew, when they called me out, then they said that. That's what I knew. They had already planned this. They're slick amongst the clique. And listen, everybody told me, all the engineers, all the conductors, all these people told me, watch David Rose. He is the one that will get you. If he don't like you for some reason, he will be the one to get you fired.
And how long did you work for him?
I started, my first phase was October the 9th. I started October the 9th to December the 18th. First phase is 5 weeks in Atlanta. You graduate, get your little certificate, ring the bell, and go on to where you're gonna be.
And that's all you ended up doing, or how long were you in there before they fired you? Like you worked for? Oh, that was it, and they just let you go right then and there. Boom.
They let you go. See what it is under the contract they got for second phase employees. They can say I'm gonna reject you until you mark up. You like 60 days or so. You mark up, you take a test, and you go to the regular. So I'm still in training phase. So the contract was agreed that they can just reject my application, and that's what they did.
I understand.
Because they got mad because I said David Rose was a liar.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I told them, you know, I told them,
they would be able to do all of that, but you do it. Boom. You know, you're gone.
Yeah.
Yep. I get it.
Yeah, but see, and then see what it is. They never thought. See, they never knew me because I never said anything. Nobody knew that I was one of the candidates for the Georgia State Conference president. Nobody knew none of this or who I was with the Panthers or none of that because I kept my mouth shut until I was going to mark up. Then I would have got with the union and we would have been doing some things. But now maybe he Googled my name and found out some stuff and he found a way to do it, but that's fine.
Well, that is a lot of HR's job.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to march, I'm going to protest, I'm going to file documents, I'm going to sue until you get tired of suing. I'm going to sue. Basically, I'm going to sue each one of them in their individual capacity. Believe that, along with CSX and the rest of the slick amongst the clique. because they'll think twice for doing this again when they be coming to court as a defendant. And right now, I call them unindicted felons because that's coming too.
Mm-hmm. So with let me ask you this, Malcolm. I mean, I know what it is, but I know they don't. So the organization that you with is the National, excuse me, it's Justice League United National Judge Advocate General. So explain to the people exactly what your organization is and what you stand for. Is there a way that you can join if you want to?
Yes.
And just kind of give them like an overall as to what you're doing. Because the reason why I'm saying that is this: even though you were in the railroad for a short period of time and you doing these extra steps, this is not what you are doing solely because of you.
Right.
You're doing what you're doing because of all these other people, and a lot of them that are not actually speaking up because they're scared for their jobs.
Yep.
You know, even though they're a part of this and they telling you this, and this, you know what I mean? Because they like it's a whole lot of stuff. Like you learn a lot of stuff along the way, but these other people that's been here 20, 25 years that's getting hammered and getting fired 4, 5, 6 times are telling you like, okay, like, you know, I can tell you this, but you can't tell them I told you. You know what I mean? I want to be involved in this. I want to help, you know, but don't tell nobody because they're gonna fire me and I'm not gonna have.
Right. Don't tell them I'm even talking to you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so just kind of tell everybody what your organization is about and the reason why you going after.
Well, yeah. Let me give them a little rundown. Then, first of all, I am also, like he said, I am the former National Minister of Law and Justice for the New Black Panther Party of self-defense, former Special Assistant to Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz for the Black Lawyers of Justice, and also the former chairman of the New Black Panther Party. And I'm also one of the 3 candidates, for the Georgia State Conference President, NAACP. And I'm gonna run again in 2 years. So again, I'm not gonna give up yet. My organization, when I've been many years with the NAACP, I found that the NAACP lacks authority to take it to the level it needs to. And that was one of my concepts of running, to change the concept of the NAACP to make them, because there's certain things that you can file and you don't have to be an attorney, like the writ of habeas corpus, the writ of mandamus, the quanto warrant, it's so many things, you know, petition to the grand jury, all that, the color of law complaint, all these things you don't have to be a lawyer to file as a citizen. And this is what I was going to teach all the women. But the Justice League United is just about that. Accountability, justice. This is what I stand for, accountability and justice. And you can Google my name, Bobby Worthy, you know, all kind of stuff gonna come up, negative and positive, you know what I'm saying? You know, I done been everywhere from jail to Facebook jail. So, but anyway, I founded Justice League in 1998, and concept of the Justice League United is, as a member of our organization, I don't have a bunch of red tape to go through like the NAACP and all these other organizations. That's because they are 501c3s. I'm self-supported. 501c13. When you become a 501c, then you become a agent or a employee of the government, because all they got to do is snatch that 501c from you and you're done. You know what I'm saying? All these millions of dollars you get. So me, if you sell your soul, anybody that gets a 501c3, some people it's good for, but to me, you sell your soul, because if you cross that line, they coming after you. So I'm self-supportive, self-sufficient. My organization is built on accountability against police. And if y'all see, go to my Facebook page, you see me the other day chasing down a state trooper for speeding. So, and I confronted him in the store. He just, have a nice day, sir. Have a nice day. So, are you above the law? Why are you speeding? Slow that car down. Who do you think you are? So, but the Justice League about it is memberships. I've always joined. You can hit me up on Facebook, Bobby Worthy, to join. I got links if you want to join. And it's $75 a year. The outside union, the same thing, $75 a year. The outside union is different because we got a lot of legalities to go to. But the Justice League United, $75 a year, and you get the power to use, and you don't have to go through research. My organization was built on one thing, and one thing only: to attack justice, how injustice, how you feel it is. I don't give a damn if you use the Justice League United as a member, slap the hell out the police. I'm gonna back you. I don't have a bunch of red tapes. I'm about justice. And that's all it is. As a member of the organization, you have a right to use the letterheads, to write, cuss, whatever you want to. I'm gonna back you. And you don't have a flunky that you can get to. Everybody. And I got about 10,000 members. So a little over 10,000. So everybody got my cell phone number. You can call me 3 or 4 o'clock at night. You ain't got to call nobody else. And as a member, I'm going to look into your situation.
Now I know one of the things that I did know that you had done here recently was that one of the guys that we had on our show, Derek Williams. If anybody don't remember, is the guy that we had that was in Georgia that was fighting for his land. Actually, had been talking to Bobby to get his assistance. That he's been working with him to help him get stuff in line. Actually, that's how I ended up knowing about Mr. Williams. It's through Bobby, because he's been going through helping this brother to do what he needs to do to get his land back. A lot of you watched that live that we did there, and like I said, that brother there is still fighting. Okay, don't think because we did that one show that we haven't been checking on him and seeing where he's going. The last I heard, he was supposed to be going to the Attorney General and also the DOJ.
Good.
For those violations, and being able to try to get some form of justice done to where he can get his land back. So he's been keeping us posted as to what's going on, dealing with that property situation and stuff like that.
Yeah, but what I told him I was going to do is we're going to get together. I just been so busy, but we got to do it. It's going to get together. And going to the DOJ is good, but you can imagine the DOJ gets billions of letters, man, hundreds of thousands. And if some of them even looked at or read, you just got to stand out somehow to get their attention. So I bought my own form of the color of law complaint. Color of law complaint goes to the FBI. The FBI is the investigator arm for DOJ. And then on the FBI website, it clearly says that all color of law complaints must be investigated. Now think about it. We're gonna see if we're gonna do it. But you know what I'm saying? We're maybe if or not. No, it said all color of law complaints. So that's what me and Mr. Williamson are gonna do. Is we're gonna file a color of law complaint with the FBI to dismantle every one of those judges and have them prosecuted, and to get his property back.
Good. That's something that's a major plus right there. They have to investigate it.
Yeah, that he needs to, man. He with him just talking to him one-on-one, you know, I mean, without the cameras rolling.
Yeah.
That guy, he was 1,000 into what he was trying to do with those animals, and what he was with the therapeutic part of it, and being able to just because a lot of those animals were he didn't have to buy them; they were given to him because they were found in numerous places, and they were sent there as a, you know, because he had that animal. But and just watching those videos about him with those animals, and you seen, I had never seen that, where you see them animals, the wild animals, actually love on somebody like that.
Right.
Yeah, they crazy about him now.
I'm with them. You know what I mean? When you got a water buffalo sitting over here like giving love, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got
You're the chosen one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
The animal whisperer, you know what I mean? The animals love you, you know what I mean? So, and to see that, what went on with him, man, it hit my heart for real.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
gonna do a press conference on it as well once we go file the paperwork.
I've been reaching out.
And that's my thing with these organizations, man. Marching and protesting, it's all right. It brings awareness. But if bullhorn marching and protesting and I have a dream speeches, all this stuff you keep doing, and we ain't living a dream yet. I got a thing I'm putting together a banquet now. It's gonna be totally free. I'm gonna have keynote speakers there, and you're gonna come to hear that I have a solution speech, and not that I have a dream speech, and you ain't got to pay no $50 to $100. It's gonna be totally free. I'm gonna give you the blueprint to change and make an effective change.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big things that we need right now. You know, being effective. What everything is going to now, you know, and you know, you got to think. We as a people, the empathy towards our fellow man is gone.
No, it's completely gone, and the care for human life is completely gone. A lot of us live by a code that nobody else is living by.
Yeah, it's in human nature, man. I tell my pastor, I said, listen, most of us live by our human nature, not by our faith, not by our religion, not by nothing, but our human nature. Why else would you put your family and your friends at risk for your ignorance and stupidity? Your human nature. Your human nature is the most powerful thing you got. It is not love. It is your human nature.
Absolutely. Yes, we will. So we're gonna get with you, Bobby. Like I said, man, you've been talking a lot, and I've been telling you that I wanted to get involved with you on that calls, because I wanted to be able to move around and actually, you know, fight the good fight when it comes to dealing with some of the stuff that's going on. And I'm
gonna get me a bike with a bicycle with a motor on it.
That's right.
I'm gonna ride with y'all.
You ain't ready for that steel horse yet. There though, I'll get you there. You ain't ready for the big boy yet, but I'm gonna get you there.
No, I ain't ready for him yet. Yeah, ain't ready for him.
Anybody that's gonna be over in Jacksonville area during this time, I'm gonna have you tell them the dates again. Anybody that's in the Jacksonville area during this time that he's doing this march, feel free to show up and participate and help this man for what he's trying to do there. Like you said, he's not just doing it for himself, he's doing it for all the ones before him.
Everyone, right?
Exactly. So, what was the dates? What was the dates again? So that way they know.
April the 4th. April the 4th, 1 p.m. 500 Waters Avenue, CSX corporate building. You can't miss it. You got a big old CSX on the top of it.
Look, Dana Holt says she'll be there.
So you heard that. April 4th at 1 p.m. The address is 540 Waters Avenue, Jacksonville, Florida. So he's going to be out there. He's going to do this march. Like I said, if you're going to be in that area or you want to be there, it's on a weekend, go on down there and support the man, what he's trying to do out there. I mean, because you also got to think about this too. These supervisors, stuff like that, they're getting on these people for trying to do the right thing. These inspectors is out there making sure that them switches is like they're supposed to be, making sure that them trains running like they're supposed to be. Because you got to think, when them trains derail, chemical get loose, you're in for a world of hurt. Now I know I was in Ohio when the last one went loose.
That was a big ordeal.
And that was actually like 30 miles from my house. And they had to evacuate everybody because of the toxic fumes that was coming out from those containers. You know, so if they're going through the point that they're skipping over safety precautions and these trains run because they got something else to do and there's money involved, but not actually dealing on the safety part, then it could be any other time. That same accident that happened in Ohio can happen anywhere else that there's train tracks. You know what I mean? So this isn't something like, oh, well, you know, it ain't happened here. It very well could. It very well could. And you know, you don't really know what's in them containers that's running up and down them tracks.
True.
Exactly.
What's in them containers? You know, so this is something that people should actually, if you actually care, not only for the people that's working there, but for your own environment, you should all participate in what this man's trying to do. Now, I know he's not going to be there by himself. I know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be there to help this man out. But the more people, the better, because
Absolutely.
more people that shows how serious this is. That shows them higher ups at CSX that, okay, we're going to have to change some things.
Right.
Because now it's hitting the news.
You have to force it. You have to force it.
Thing that they want to do. That's the reason why they're trying to shut it up now, because they don't want this to go to the news to where this is another lawsuit that we got to deal with because of the same stuff. Same stuff. Wrongful
repeated over and over.
You know, so like I said, April 4th, 1 p.m., 540 Waters Avenue, and we'll
500
group chat again when it gets closer to that time or whatever. Like I said, if you're in that area, come there and support the man. You know,
Yes, sir.
Support the cause.
The whole thing. Right.
Yeah, and they can hit me up on my Facebook at Bobby Worthy. Just go to my Facebook, Bobby Worthy. They'll see it out.
Perfect. Good. And we got you linked up right there.
They just had a conductor get killed last week.
Wow.
Got ran over by a train.
They got what now?
Got ran over by a train.
Wow.
Wow.
Up in somewhere, I think North Carolina.
Damn.
Well, hate to hear that. And those out to the family as well.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's always good to talk to you, Bobby. I done had you on here for an hour and 22 minutes, 23 minutes. It's always good to talk to you. Like I said, I still want to get with you, bro. I still want to get with you because I want to join what you got going on there. You know what I mean? Not because I know you, but because I know what you're fighting for.
Right.
All righty.
I mean, and I can vouch for that. You know what I mean? That's something that I can run. You know what I mean? Because what you're doing for the right reasons. This is not a selfish type deal. This is something that you're doing not only to help everybody that's involved, you know what I mean? And you actually picking up the slack.
Yeah, it's righteous.
For a lot of these other groups, because just like I said, when we had Mr. Williams on the phone here, he was talking about how he reached out to the NAACP and that they turned it back on him.
Yep.
But to you, and you in turn been helping him since then. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy how you got this national organization that basically turned their back on him, and then you turned around a small organization like, you know what? Come on, I'm gonna help you. Let me do all I can do to help you out. You know what I mean? So that speaks a lot on you. You know, so again. So, but if you got any closing words, I'm gonna get you off of here.
All righty, yeah. I just want to say, man, people, I'm doing this for the past, present, and future employees of CSX to stop rogue management and have accountability. Join me April 4th in Jacksonville. Hit me up on Facebook, Bobby Worthy, if you're interested. Share the link and just hit me up if you want to join the Justice League United, or they got outside union, former conductors, present conductors, engineers, and future. With that said, April 4th, 2024, Jacksonville, Florida. Let's show up. We ain't going to show out, but we're going to show up, and we're going to have accountability.
That's right. I like that a lot.
That's what's up. Right. So we're gonna let Bobby go. And then
Yes, sir.
Go here and see what we gonna finish out the closing remarks. Let you go ahead and do yours. I'm gonna do mine, and then we're gonna be up out of this piece.
Yeah, man. We seem to have every single week. It's not that it gets more and more intense. It almost seems like it, but every single one of these conversation pieces have been insanely intense. We're not speaking about these normal, just day-to-day things. We're not just talking about one narrative or the other. We really dive deep into all subjects, whether they're human, interests, or if they're world news. A lot of the times what we speak about, again, guys, is demonetized. We cannot, a lot of the times, as you guys know, they don't like us speaking about what we're talking about. So I always say on our show, on the Diamond Effect, is please help us out because we instantly get demonetized. So right there's the info right there for the Diamond Effects Cash App right there. You can also super chat me on my channel. You can use the channel memberships, and also my Cash App is there as well. And aside from that, we cannot have this show without you guys being here. So it means the absolute world that you guys stick from the very beginning all the way to the end like you guys have, and it means the world to us. So thank you. That's what I've got to say.
Appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate
I appreciate you.
Like every week, Mike, I gotta say, I appreciate you being out here, man. It's always good to get a second opinion and to hear another person's input as to some of this stuff that's going on.
Totally. And the honor's all mine, being able to be on, first of all, the same show as you, and being able to think on the same thinking playing field is astronomical. It's truly an honor because I love the way that we are breaking down each and every single week. It's just getting better and better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that it's crazy because number one, we're picking up on the subscription part.
Huge.
More people are subscribing every day. More people subscribing every day because they're watching it and they're with what we're talking about. So the ones that's watching, like, follow, share, let everybody know. You know what I mean? Hit that like button. And it's not a panic button. It's a like button. Hit that button. That lets YouTube know that we legit out here. Okay.
That's right.
That keeps us on the algorithm. That keeps us to where, more people are being able to watch this show, because the more we're able to educate and put this stuff out there, the more people that's going to understand and be able to relate and be like, oh, you know what? I was thinking about this very thing right here. Let me get a little bit more into it. Let me watch this show. So put it out there. You ones that's watching on Facebook, you got that little thing right there. You got all those likes, but you can hit that 1,000 times.
Yep.
1,000 times. You can double thumb it and the whole thing.
Yep.
Beep, 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 beep. Each time that you do that, it's just going to keep it circulating. You only helping us by doing that. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's not always a monetary thing. You know what I mean? If you hitting that like button, it's just the same thing. It's putting it out. It's putting it out there. A lot of times this stuff just ain't for money. You know what I mean? I didn't come into this for money.
Nope.
Money will come.
Yep.
I came into this because I wanted to give you guys the truth.
Yep, the truth, and straight from the heart, and seeing right through the BS. Exactly. Being able to read in between the lines and really get the full scale of everything here. Not just one-sided either. It's the full spectrum being investigated on all topics.
Yeah, so hit that like button. Like I said, you can hit that damn thing 1,000 times if you want. Just hit it. Just keep hitting it. Because that's what makes YouTube know that we out here and we actually being legit. Now, next week, I already got it together. So let me run something by you. Matter of fact, Mike, let me ask you this. If let's deal with power, electric power. How many substations would have to go down before you could completely black out the whole United States?
Man, that's a good question.
The whole United States. How many?
The whole United States. I really wouldn't know the answer to that.
Just make a guess. Because there's hundreds.
Right. I would probably guess, because we're on a grid system that is from the 70s or 60s or something like that, I would probably guess 15 or 20.
Okay. What if I told you that right now, 2024, that you could completely black out the United States if you got rid of 9 strategic substations?
Wow. You could just do a whole blackout.
9 strategic substations, you can black out the whole country. Now, you remember back a while ago when we had the blackout up in the north, up in Ontario, and it was Ontario, Ohio, Pennsylvania.
I remember that whole ordeal. Yep.
All that. Now, all of that happened. You blacked out 8 states plus a part of the country because you had some tree limbs that was in a batch of wires in Ohio.
No way.
One spot.
That was the reason.
One spot blacked out 8 states.
Wow.
There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now, because another thing that you got going on is that, everybody keeps talking about this Russia-China thing, but do you realize that Russia can actually get into the power grid? Did you realize that China can get into your national gas? They have been. And they've been going through this whole cyber thing for the past couple of years now, that they've actually got in a couple times. And they've, luckily they've been able to get them back. And they actually did it in Texas, to the point that Texas would have been completely blacked out if it hadn't have been for a couple people doing what they did. There was like 4 minutes and 30 seconds left before the whole grid system in Texas would have been done.
Wow.
And they were able to fix it. So what we're going to talk about next week is we're going to talk about that, but we're going to also talk about, if something like this actually took place, what is it that you need to do?
Right.
What you can do, to make sure that you and your family are able to push through until everything is back online and fixed. Because this right here is not going to be a overnight thing. It's not going to be a week thing.
Sure.
And it's weird because you have Congress that actually has figures on what's going to happen between 0 and 30 days, 0 and 60 days, 90 days, a year, 2 years, whatever. So next week we're going to talk about what if this happens to take place, and if it does take place, what is it that you need to do?
That's going to be a heavy one.
Because the way the state is now, it's a lot of tension, and you don't know what's going on.
That's damn straight.
So one of the things that we do here is try to keep you aware of everything that's going on and be able to help you as much as we can through these airways. And one thing that I'm gonna do right here is that we're gonna have somebody on. We'll have a guest on that has over 20 years experience dealing with this, and he's gonna talk about what it is that's going on and what is it that you need to do if this happens. Now, this is just for, not just with that, this could be for natural, hurricane, tornado, grid down, whatever.
Sure.
Anything that requires this, and the reason why I'm making this important is because I don't know whether you know this, but let's say that something happened to the power grid to the point that you lost power, substations, whatever, up to a year.
Right. Now, how are you going to handle it? to be
You
real.
realize in that year's time, you would lose at least 10 million people within that first year.
Easily. Yep.
Because they don't have power. So we're going to try to change that. So next week, tune in, and we're going to get down into it. But until then, we got 7 days. Appreciate you all coming out. If you haven't got on Facebook, get on Facebook group. Just type in the Diamond Effect. It'll take you right to it. You can join the group. We got stuff that we post in there every day. You know, we got moderators in there that keep it pushing in there every day. And I appreciate y'all doing all the hard work that you're doing. And I don't waste enough of y'all's time tonight. So I'm gonna see you all in 7 days.
Absolutely. Nothing but love and respect to everybody. Have a wonderful night.
Hello there, children. Today's topic, we're going to talk about gang banging. I don't mean women, I mean gangsters banging. I really don't think banging is permittable today. You shouldn't gang bang. Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices. Kids talking gang talk, walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices. Look, today's slightly different from the 80s. Separated from greatness, killing up all the babies. Sickening and so degrading, and gripping and blood daily. Never gonna let this save me. Your bullets done hitting graves. Me still standing, amazing, suffering complications and contemplating, debating, time for retaliation. You new to this banging, you're quick to join in the game when you don't even know the half about what set you be claiming. All these new fools, new crews, bloody blue shoes, so woo. Hang yourself with a loose noose, no truth. You the fool if you don't hear when it's real. You plan to deal with your life, one day you bound to get killed. I done walked through the hood, seen a lot of blood spill. Mama's crying, babies dying, getting served in the field. Don't regret the way I feel about today in the game. Don't make no sense for you to drive up in this death